Welcome to CommBeBiz Introduces. Today's webinar is with Karen Hamann, our food segment manager. Karen, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
First of all, thank you very much for asking me to hold this position. I'm very grateful and indeed looking forward to our common collaboration. I'm Karen and I'm Danish, and I have a company, Institute for Food Studies and Agroindustrial Development, based just north of Copenhagen. And I'm specialist in European and international food and agribusiness. And I've been working with this field within more than 10 years, particularly emphasizing how to bring research and innovation into a business context.
Thank you, Karen. Karen, what's your area of interest?
Well, my overall area of interest is food. And I'm particularly interested in food innovation, in food marketing, meaning how can you actually bring a food product from an idea and into something you can trade. And therefore, I have interest in the food retail, in food service, in food innovation, in food technologies, in food value chains, in how food is adapting to societal changes, and the other way around, how our changes in society have an impact on the way we eat, in the way we produce food, in the way we trade food. So this is just to introduce you to the fact that food is much, much more than just what you eat. Food is just as much the processing, the trade, the innovation, the value chains. So food is therefore a never-ending subject which keeps on developing, no matter from if you're looking at it from a very local point of view or you're talking about something in an international or global context.
Thank you, Karen. What are you most looking forward to in CommBeBiz?
One of the most interesting things is always to see what is the latest research. And the biggest challenge in that connection is very often how do you bring research into a business-oriented context where you can actually turn the research into an innovation. So how can you get this to work, and under which circumstances, and in which value chains, and which markets? This is of great interest to me, and this is what I really see could be provided by the CommBeBiz, because you have such a strong focus on exactly bringing research into life. And then I also think another interesting point of this is the international perspective there is to it, because we can very often see that when research works across borders, it gets much more creative, it gets much more comprehensive view on what's actually going on and what is possible. So the international European outlook is also very, very challenging and very intriguing too.
Why do you think it's important to engage researchers in knowledge transfer?
I think that we have so many brilliant researchers across the food-related facilities in Europe. And I think that researchers indeed benefit from collaboration, because the food sector, as this is the one we're focusing on now, is developing from not only being food, but also being related to a bioeconomy context, being related to packaging, to certification, to new ways of producing in agriculture, new ways, new changes in society. So therefore it's very relevant and highly necessary that research actually engage in knowledge transfer, not only between research facilities, but to a very, very high degree also in knowledge transfer to the people who are going to use this research. And here I'm particularly thinking about people dealing with the production and processing of food, because these are the people who will be taking on the research results and implementing them in a business context. And this is the only way to do this if the research is to benefit society. It's also very important that researchers engage in knowledge transfer, particularly with the business sector, because we need to shorten the time from an innovation is born till the product actually, or the technology is in the market. This is due to the competitiveness of the industry, because time to market keeps on shortening. So we need to do everything we can to shorten the time from an idea turns into research, becomes an innovation, and is actually placed in the market. And finally, it's also very important that we actually can see that the food sector develops in more directions, as I mentioned before, not only thinking as food as something you can eat, but food is also related to the way we live our everyday lives, meaning we have to see this in connection with societal changes. And here, new technologies and social media and the opportunities given by ICTs are very important for how the food sector can develop. And this is why it's important to see the food sector in a close collaboration and in close dialogue with other sectors. It could be the ICT, but it could be just as well the chemical sector, it could be energy, and there could be lots of other opportunities. But the knowledge transfer, coming back to this issue, is highly the key to make the European industry competitive. And therefore also we need to bring the different industrial sectors together, because particularly between the sectors and between value chains, that is where we find tomorrow's innovation. And I think this is what we should be striving at.
I would like to thank Karen Hamann, our Food Segment Manager, for taking part in this CommBeBiz Introduces webinar. If you would like more information or to join CommBeBiz and gain access to our free support, go to combebiz.eu or email info@combebiz.eu. For all the latest events and updates, follow us on social media. Thank you for joining us.